There's a thing in philosophy. What's it called? It's called illusory superiority. It's a condition of cognitive bias where a person overestimates their own qualities and abilities or correctness, okay? Illusory superiority, something like that. You know how I feel about bagels, okay? Bagels is the holy bread. Bagels are my jam. And I can be kind of a snob about it. I've been a snob on this channel before about a bagel. Have my nose stuck up in the air toward other bagels. I still feel that way a little bit, to be honest. You know, I like a bagel the way I like it. I like it to be right. But I will eat a substandard bagel. I'm not gonna spend the money for the good bagel. I'm just gonna settle. I'm gonna settle. Sometimes you settle for a bagel. What I'm saying is, sometimes I will mess with Dunkin Donuts. I pulled up, I'm on my way to work. The line looked long, but I was like, it'll probably move fast. So I pulled into this line, almost out to the street, like almost wrapping all the way around the building. I get in my spot. Now this guy who comes behind me, he can't quite fit. He drives around the whole building and then comes around and tries to pull in, to the side behind me. He's behind me. He should be next in line, but he's not in the line per se because his butt would have been out in the street. As he gets there, somebody else comes in, a woman in an equally large vehicle. Okay, people got big cars out here. They both think that they're next. Now I have witnessed this guy arrive first. But this woman has not seen him arrive first, and she thinks she's next. He thinks he's next. I see all this playing out in my rearview mirror. I'm listening to my podcast, mostly ignoring it. The line moves forward a little bit. I move forward a little bit. And then all of a sudden I hear a horn, bang, and then the other horn answering back, bang. They're dueling horns right now. The two vehicles behind me both think that they're next. And they're letting everybody know with the horn. This is not what the horn is for. The horn is for, boop, boop, excuse me. I drive a Kia now. That's what my horn sounds like. It's very non-aggressive, non-threatening. Boop, boop. Please look away from your cell phone. The light has changed. These people using the horn as an act of aggression. It is so early in the morning. I do not know how they can be so full of rage already. We're on our way to work. The day is brand new before you. You already got this much aggression, and it's all coming through that horn. Bonk, bonk, two big cars, big horns. Sesame, toasted, cream cheese, that's what I get. I've had a lot of good bagels. I've had a lot of substandard bagels. This bagel that I got from Dunkin Donuts the other day, it is far and away the worst bagel that I've ever eaten. First of all, I got the bag. It didn't feel heavy enough to have a bagel with cream cheese in it. What's in this bag? I got it. It was misshapen. I could tell while it was still wrapped in the paper, this joint, it was a misshapen bagel, okay? Half of the joint was thin, the other half was thick. Did they bake it wrong? Did somebody set a heavy object on it? I don't know how this happened, but already I could tell there's something wrong with my bagel. Open it up. Okay, now what do I see? Sesame seeds, yes, but is that the only seed on this bagel? It's hard to say. I know sometimes a sesame bagel goes through the toaster and then maybe picks up a poppy seed or a little flake of onion from the onion bagel. This is not what I'm talking about. There were other seeds embedded into part of the bagel. It was like somehow in the process, it thought it was multi-seed over here on the skinny half, and on the fat half, it was just some sesame seeds. I don't know what happened, but it didn't look right. This is before I tasted it. The line moves forward a little bit more. Both of these cars, they gun it. And I look in the rearview mirror and they're both neck and neck. And they almost grazing each other. They're trying to touch these cars. And neither one of them is backing down. The dude rolls down his window and he starts yelling. She's not looking at him. Hey, I'm next. She starts yelling back. I turn my podcast up a little bit because I don't really want to witness what's back there. I feel like this is a private moment between them. They're trying to make public, and I refuse to be party to this. I'm gonna turn up my podcast. Didn't work. Okay, I couldn't hear the podcast. All I heard was them yelling, and they got in the horns again too. He yelled horn, and she would just horn right back, and I guess she was yelling too. I couldn't quite hear what they were saying, but the volume and tone was enough that I feel like I know exactly what they were saying. Now all of a sudden, the woman in the car in front of me, she walks to the back of her car, okay, with the front of my Kia basically, and she's looking at these, and she's got her phone. I don't know if she's making a video or if she's talking to somebody, but she's like, what's happening here? Oh, this man is yelling at this woman. This man is yelling at this woman. We got reporter on the scene with cell phone footage, front of my Kia, behind the Kia, two big cars trying to hit each other. I'm just hunkered down in the middle. I'm just like, I just came here for breakfast. Let's talk temperature of the bagel, okay? The bagel was not warm, but it also wasn't just a little cold. I know how when you toast a bagel, then you put some cream cheese on it, which is cold, lowers the temperature. This felt like it hadn't been toasted. Okay, I heard her say to me, toasted, but it felt like there was no heat. There was no heat coming off the outside of this thing. Okay, and so temperature was wrong. The cream cheese was not spread evenly. I'm not gonna dock them for that. I know it's busy. Line is wrapped around the whole restaurant. I know that they're in there just, I know they're in a hurry. It does not justify what I experienced. They are still yelling at each other. So now the woman with the cell phone, she has taken sides, okay? She's like, sir, hey, stop it. Stop it. She's like you would talk to a dog who has done something bad. No, stop it. Shut up. She is a woman. On the surface, I feel like I can agree with that statement. She is a woman. Do not yell at her. But everybody yelling now, okay? It is going down in the Dunkin Donuts parking lot, and I'm just trying to get my breakfast. So I take a bite of this bagel, already feeling pretty unsure about where we're going. I take the bite, and instantly I can tell, oh, all my worst fears have come true, okay? When I bite it, wet cardboard, okay? It was both dry and soggy. You know, how is that possible? How is it both dry? Like so dry, it's just like dissolving in my mouth. There's no breadness to it. Okay, the bagel was so dry it just broke into little. It like dissolved in my mouth, but also it felt soggy. You know how cotton candy dissolves in your mouth? It was like that, but so much worse and bad. I took a second bite. You know, maybe the first one was a fluke. It wasn't. The second one just as bad. I had just been listening to a report on NPR about how gun sales have once again risen in America. And all I can think is, what if one of these people owns a gun? What is my role here? I felt like I just wanted to say, guys, y'all know this food isn't even that good. We're at Dunkin Donuts right now. I would have happily given up my spot, but that would not have worked. We were too wedged in, and both of them would have wanted it. I don't think it would have solved the conflict. You know, the woman in front of me, she kind of handled it, because she picked a winner, and next thing I know, I hear, brrr, truck peel out. The dude in the white car just spins around. It was like the perfect Foley sound effect. Brrr, burner rubber, got in the engine, vroom, ran it around. Everybody in the drive-thru line, I'm sure, freaked out because they didn't know Ghost Rider was about to go by, vroom, screaming, right around the whole building, and he was gone. And the woman looks at the other woman like, you okay? She just gets back in her car. She's like, I have handled this. When I pull up getting ready to get my food, the woman who's ahead of me, she starts talking to the checkout people about it. Did y'all see this man yelling at this lady? He is crazy. He's lost his mind. They were like, oh, is that what that was? It's pulling around. Yeah, he was harassing this woman. And then they were like, oh, he came in here. Oh, I bet he did. He's still there. People looking for a fight in the Dunkin Donuts parking lot. It's not even 9 a.m. I'm not gonna lie to you, guys. I finished the bagel, okay? I ate the whole thing. Because I paid for it. I'm not the kind of person who leaves starred reviews on fast food restaurants. But this was no stars. This was negative stars, guys. And I don't want to blame anybody in there. But somebody made this and served it to me. It's the worst bagel I ever had. Illusory superiority. The illusion that you are better than other people. Everybody in this situation thought that they were right. That guy thought he was right. He was within his rights to take his place. That woman thought she was right. Woman in front of me took she assessed the situation. She saw the man yelling at the woman. She was like, he's wrong. She telling everybody else who's right and who's wrong. This is an example of the fact that we, as a species, we gotta stop trying to be right and start trying to be nice to each other. Everybody here so convinced that they are the one who is right, and everyone else is less right. And the point is, that's not the point. I know for a fact that dude and that woman, and very likely the woman in front of me, carried that tension with them for the rest of the day. I know I did, and I wasn't even part of it. Being right and justified at this level, the Dunkin Donuts parking lot level, does not matter as much as just being kind to each other. You know, if you could just be a little nicer, we all would have had a fine morning. Nobody would have carried that tension with them. Everybody would have been fine, unscathed, except for me, because I had that garbage bagel. But that would have made YouTube. Will I go back? It's quite possible. Okay, it's right on my way to work. What's the point? The point is, people need to relax in the Dunkin Donuts drive-thru line. The food is not worth it.